Welcome. You're listening to Dunestone Redemption, a podcast featuring three idiots talking about movies that probably no one will ever listen to. The format is simple. Each idiot gets to pick a movie and make the other two idiots watch it. Then we get together and pick a movie and make the other two idiots watch it. Then we get together and give our opinions on said films. And unless you're Ali Wong, we don't allow guests, but we do value your feedback. Othie's shaking his head yes on that one. So drop us a message at dunestoneredemption.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Dunestone Films.
That's a fantastic pick.
Yeah, I really like her.
Yeah,
really?
Me too.
I've seen really a couple of her stand-ups that are on Netflix.
I haven't watched any of them.
And they're funny, they're hilarious, but I haven't seen her like really act in anything.
Yeah.
And I thought she was pretty good. That we will be reviewing today.
She's beautiful. She is beautiful.
Yeah, she's a pretty lady too.
Do we want
to
start with that movie then, since we've talked
about
it?
Well, heck yeah. We're already going into it. I believe that was Othaniel Ramsey's pick for the month.
And that was Always Be My Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You'll always be my maybe or always be my maybe again?
It's just Always Be My
always
Maybe.
Be My Maybe.
It's the same title.
Okay.
It's not a remake or anything. I looked into that. I was
same
like,
title.
whoa.
But this was on strictly to Netflix, and I liked this, and what I loved about this was the relationship between Sasha, her, and Marcus. Like, I felt like they were definitely, when they were like back in dating, man, you could tell there was a connection. Like when they finally got back to get the kind of the end of the movie, and they're kind of, when she's his groupie at the band and encouraging him, you could tell that was almost a real relationship. That's how good I thought that was. But man, just a fun, lighthearted movie.
I liked the chemistry between them.
Yeah,
definitely liked the chemistry.
I think this movie was all about relationships. The dad and Marcus, I thought that was an awesome relationship. When he's smoking pot and dancing, the dad walks in and he just starts joining him. I thought that's so great. They lost their mom together, and I don't know. I thought it was a great movie. The only thing I didn't really like, which was what I was looking forward to, was how they used Keanu Reeves. I don't know. The first part when he's at dinner, I thought was great.
I feel like he was playing a character. I liked that.
You liked it?
that
Okay.
it's like, okay, Keanu Reeves once again proves that he's this giant star, but he doesn't take himself too seriously. Because all he is doing is being a weirdo.
Did it take you out of the movie though at all?
Yeah.
See, that's what.
Yeah, I thought it was a little over the top.
Yeah.
Because the movie had kind of a. I thought it was a little over the top.
Yeah.
Because the movie had kind of a low tone to it. It wasn't brash and in your face or anything like that. So, I mean, I think you liked it. What would you rate it?
I would definitely give it a Duvall. That's how much I like. In fact, I watched it with Taylor again later after I'd already. I watched it with Taylor again later after I'd already seen it. I normally don't do that. So, if Netflix kept making stuff like this, man, I would never go to the theater.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was great.
Captain Shackshafe, what do you think?
I was being very quiet during your...
I noticed that there was an absence of your booming voice the entire time we were talking.
Basically take what you said. I said the whole thing felt like a really bad date. The whole thing.
Well, yeah.
You said they had chemistry. I didn't see it. No. I thought, what in the hell are these people doing together?
I think what they had chemistry with was the friendship.
Yeah.
You know, I get that. when they're doing their little witty banner and stuff like that. You know, when they're doing their little witty banner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the message that the film was trying to show us is that is love.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, it's not the big over-the-top romantic gestures and things like that.
I was, I thought it sounded like a really bad date, and it was, I thought it sounded like a really bad date, and it brought me back to a really bad date. I went on once, I went on a blind date with this girl, and she seemed, I mean, everything I heard about her seemed nice, and then I showed up, and she was 1 week removed from having skin removal surgery, from losing so much weight. Okay. And it just kind of messed up the whole thing. That's what I say this movie was like. It was like...
that is an oddly specific example.
It was like...
It's like you're going on a date with a chick who's about to have skin removal surgery.
It was so... It was so... The whole movie should be enjoying this, but I'm not enjoying it. I didn't... Yeah. I didn't feel chemistry. I felt like it was forced. Much like me going on a date with the girl from V from Vendetta guy. Mm-hmm. All the bandages and shit. That's what I felt like this movie was. Does that make sense?
Oh, did she have...
Yeah, okay. It was so weird.
Okay.
But that's what I felt. And I say that part, and then I bring up the rapping was the most god awful thing I've ever listened to.
I thought it was horrible too,
life.
but I thought it was funny.
I liked his
That's
music.
good. Yeah.
No,
I liked
it was,
his music.
Oh.
No.
And I liked when she was the groupie, like, that's my man.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
No, there
Yeah.
was very San Francisco rap, because they weren't really a rap band. They were kind of an alternative hip hoppy.
And you thought that was funny?
I thought it was funny.
I thought
yeah.
some of it was funny.
Here's the deal. I like Randall Park. There's something about that guy. Have you guys watched Fresh Off the Boat?
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
I freaking love that show. And I don't love it for the kids. I love it for Randall Park, who's the dad, and whatever that lady who plays the mom's name is. She's fantastic. The kids are okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
he
it's
wrote
so
this
good.
movie, right?
Did he write
I
it?
didn't
he
know
wrote.
that.
Well, good for him. Good for him, because I think he did a good job.
What was it? The 5 or 10 year engagement he was in? That one?
I don't remember that one. I know he was in that Seth Rogen,
Yep. He's been in a bunch.
He was
Now, you
Kim
guys are talking
Jong-un.
about these guys. How did you feel about the supporting actors in the movie?
Well, there wasn't very many.
Many, yeah.
There was her assistant,
Her friend, yeah.
But like the
who's
family and stuff, I just felt like
I like the
they were
dad.
like the
Who's her-
family and stuff. I just felt like
I like the
they were
dad.
surrounded by terrible acting.
Man, I didn't get
Well,
that.
I think the gal that played his girlfriend,
Yeah.
who was kind of
Yeah.
set up to be like
The opposite of her.
well, a good actor or actress could have stolen the film with that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Have you noticed one thing?
not
though? It
everyone's
seems
going to
like
knock it out of the park every time.
this and all the pop culture movies we're watching. Have you noticed like a lot of it seems to keep centering around food and making food or being a chef? Is that like
Well,
the hot thing now?
I
Well,
think
that
it
is
is.
that is the
Yeah.
hot thing right now. Yeah.
I did like how she tied her New York restaurant back to his mom that passed away.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Mystery mom didn't brag about that the whole time. Just like here's a little surprise. That was pretty cool.
What would you give it rating?
I'm giving it a Saget. That's a 4.
Oh jeez.
Oh,
and I think I
Saget,
was
that's
being
just rude.
generous. I didn't like it
No,
at
Duvall,
all.
it-
Oh, wow.
By the way, IMDb was giving it a 6.9, but the Rotten Tomato score is 80%.
Yeah, if you
So
got
I knew
Netflix-
the Rotten Tomato score is 80%.
Yeah, if you
So
got
I knew
Netflix,
I was
watch
in
this.
the lower half of who
Yeah.
enjoyed this movie. I didn't like it.
Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice little film. We watched so many very heavy things, just in our personal lives and for this show. We watch a lot of really, just in our personal lives and for this show, we watch a lot of really. It was nice to watch something that wasn't so heavy, and I liked it that he was. It was all about overcoming fear. She was afraid to really love somebody the whole time, and he was afraid. And he was his failure to launch when he
Right.
lost his mom, and that was it for
That
him.
was done.
He didn't feel like he could progress past that point. So it's not too heavy. It's got some genuinely funny scenes in there.
Yes.
Other than Keanu, I don't remember.
I don't
any.
know, and then I didn't think the Keanu scenes were that funny. I
I
thought
thought
there
it
was
was
a lot of other
hilarious.
stuff.
You
that
didn't
was
laugh
very
when he's
funny.
like, I ordered a 500 tennis balls.
Young did a great job. I think she carried the film very well.
She's my new crush.
as the main character,
Huh.
and I just like anything that Randall Park is in. I just, there's some guys that you see in Hollywood.
Yeah. I think it's
Nick
the glasses with her.
Swartzen.
It makes me like,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah. Nick
she's
Swartzen does it
beautiful.
for you
Nick
too.
Swartzen,
Yeah.
Randall Park. I
Yeah.
hang out with those guys. You know what I mean? Either one of them would be fine.
So what do you give the movie?
I'd give it a Robert Downey Jr. Maybe not a Duvall like Othie.
No, I liked it.
But I thought it was a good, solid little romantic comedy for Shizzle.
Gotcha.
So, do we want to jump into another romantic? Do we want to jump into another romantic comedy?
Why not?
Sure.
Sure. So my pick this month was Murder Mystery.
Yeah.
It stars a guy named Adam Sandler.
I've heard
he's,
of him.
He's a new up and coming comedian. And Jennifer Aniston. She was in a show. It was kind of an indie show back on NBC a few years ago called Friends.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, it did okay in syndication, but it didn't really take off until
Until then.
it get
Gotcha.
canceled. Yeah.
Was she in Leprechaun? I think that's where I
I
know
think
Yeah,
so,
I know her
yeah.
from Leprechaun.
She was in
Yes.
Leprechaun.
I know her.
So again, this film.
Absolutely. I agree
And if
with
you
that.
want to talk about chemistry, I thought their chemistry was fantastic.
yeah.
Not as sappy romance or whatever, but as like a real couple.
Right.
I kept telling Diane,
that
I said,
fight like a real couple
These people
and- yeah.
seem like a real couple.
That
And I
fight
said,
like a real couple
These people
and- yeah.
seem like a real couple. Because at the end of every scene, what were they doing? They were trying to get food.
Yeah.
They're like, where
Yeah.
are we going to eat?
I'm
Where do
starving.
you want to eat tonight?
That's
I don't know.
true.
Where do you want to eat? Oh, grab the shrimp. So I was just loving that everywhere they went, they were filling up on food like as much as they. Obviously, it's a murder mystery farce type thing. They get embroiled in this whodunit murder escapade with all these people who were they related? I never quite figured out how. all
Yeah,
these-
they were kind of related,
Yeah,
but
they were just
kinda
people in this
talked
guy's
through
life.
But
Here was my question though. Where was the gang?
Yeah.
About
Rob
that.
Schneider. Where was Nick Swartzen?
Yep.
Here's my theory. I think Aniston said, "Look,
okay, enough
Adam,
of this.
Adam, I'll be in your movie, but I'm not hanging out with your stupid friends again.
for 4 months while we shoot.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hang out with all your dumb buddies."
Right.
Because it was a Happy Gilmore, or what do they call it?
Right,
because
right.
it was a Happy Gilmore, or what do they call it? A Happy
Happy
something?
Madison.
Happy
Happy Madison
yeah,
production. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was just like, "Where's the whole gang?" I'm sure Rob Schneider was just pissed to hell.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like, what
yeah.
am I doing now?
You know, he's like, "What? You couldn't
Yeah.
fly me in for a day to
Yeah.
film for 5 minutes
Yeah.
as the
I wrote in my
bellboy?
notes, we needed somebody to say, you can.
5 minutes as,
Yeah.
as the
I wrote in my
bellboy?
notes, we needed somebody to say, you can do
Yeah.
it.
We
Just
couldn't-
one time. Would have
We
been
couldn't
Yeah.
get a bellboy or something in there. So
Yeah.
that was my only real complaint. I think their caliber of actors that they got to be in this film are actually higher.
way
than what
better.
normal
Yeah,
is.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I was just like,
The goofball uncle that dies was a better caliber. of
I
actress
said
than
that-
all of them.
oh yeah, well that's the guy from Clockwork Orange. What's his name?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I don't remember his
Famous
name.
guy.
Yeah.
famous man.
What would you rate the movie?
It's nothing fantastic. I mean, I would probably give it a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, Malcolm
Yep.
McDowell. Yes.
Yep.
The whole time I would give it a Hoskins.
I'm going to jump in here if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I said that the only thing that I really didn't like about the movie is it could have used a little bit more comedy relief. Sandler isn't near as funny as he used to be. He's more
I agree with that.
deadpan,
I
and
agree
he
with
sits
that.
back. So you could have used a guy they could have used a Rob Schneider in there. They tried to do it with the mainstream actors, and I think they missed with the comedy piece.
Well, yeah,
of
they
that.
could have used a real freaking goofball.
Exactly. But the scenes with the Ferrari.
That was the best.
Oh my god, I laughed I
Yeah.
laughed so hard during that. In this
I do
idea,
love it when they.
I
Yeah.
laughed so hard during that. In this
I do love
idea,
it when they sit down. He's like, "Let's go." Damn it! Because
wrong side.
Because she's got the wheel.
Yeah. I thought that the scenes where he couldn't shoot was also really funny. This idea that the cop who couldn't shoot.
Yeah,
that
he's a
was-
cop or
that was
is he a
great.
detective?
He was supposed to, wasn't quite a
He's failed
detective
that
yet.
test a few times.
I
I
just-
loved the double date with him
And yeah,
and his partner.
Yeah,
Eric Griffin, he's hilarious.
that was
Yeah.
good. I really enjoyed it. I knew what I was going to get when I sat down to watch the movie.
Yeah, there was no surprise.
I'm giving it a Hoskins. It's nothing to write home about, which is crazy. We give it 6. I want to see what Oakley says because IMDb gives it a 6, but the Rotten Tomatoes score is 40% on it,
Oh, really?
just a hair above the Beach Bum we watched last month.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
And this was twice the movie of the Beach Bum we watched last month.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
And this was twice the movie that was.
Well, I mean, this was
and those are supposed to be user reviews, So I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. If you're looking for something to watch on Netflix, it's one I'd recommend it. Apparently, it's one I'd recommend it. Apparently, just millions and millions of people watched that the first week.
within the first 48 hours,
Yeah.
they had 3 million viewers.
Yeah.
And
on
that's
that.
why he's going to
So,
keep making these.
Yeah.
So
And so they have signed him on to do several more now.
Yep.
I think 6 films.
So hopefully it goes uphill. Last couple that he's made, but me and Sophie were watching Bedtime Stories again. Did you ever watch that
Yeah, that's a
movie?
good movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm like, how come we can't
Courtney
get more
Cox
of
is
that?
even good in that.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I
So-
went the opposite of what you guys did, and it pains me to say this, but I'm so over Adam Snyder or Sandler. Sandler, I'm over him. Gosh dang it,
Billy
Happy
Madison.
Gilmore, Billy Madison. I grew up on those, so that's painful to see. He just phones it in, but maybe that's just his MO from here on out.
Well, I agree with kind of what Eric said. His particular style of comedy, and I think it's just maybe because he's gotten older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is just not the same. He was the thing I loved about Billy Madison, it was so random.
Yes.
There was all this, and even
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore, there was all this, and that's the one thing that he's lost in his films.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was like, where's Rob Schneider? I need a random Rob
Right.
Schneider
Even
moment
Big Daddy
here.
had some of that. The Rob
Yeah.
Schneider.
I need a random Rob
Right.
Schneider
Even
moment
Big Daddy
here.
had some of that. The Rob
Yeah,
Schneider, the
yeah.
delivery guy,
Yeah.
gone. But yeah, the last movie he's been in that I really enjoyed was Funny People, and since then I can't think of a movie.
Really,
I
I was just curious to say I thought Funny People was one of the worst movies I've seen
really
in
I
my life.
enjoyed him in that one for whatever. I
Me
don't
and Bridget,
know.
it was one of our first dates.
Oh really?
And I knew that it was
It's
meant
not
to
a good
be
date movie.
when we watched it and we both go,
No.
ew, we hated that.
Well, my notes were kind of like yours. I'm like, where's the group? Maybe
Right.
that's what this is missing. But I didn't really laugh one bit, other than in my notes I had the Ferrari scene where I finally laughed,
That
and
was,
I
that was funny.
was just waiting for this movie to be over. I was like,
Really?
I'm just putting in the efforts. But no. But the next one, like you said, he's doing a lot of these. He's going to do one. Now, it's not Halloween scare or horror, but it's going to be centered around Halloween, a comedy. So that could be kind of
Which
interesting.
is smart, because then around Halloween every year they'll show that.
They can drop that. And
I don't know who made that walking pile of crap Hocus Pocus, but that everyone's showing it, and every woman you know is like, "Oh, Hocus Pocus," and I'm like, "That movie's
Well, didn't you
terrible."
feel the laughs were even cheap when they went for him too?
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
You talking about Hocus
Yeah.
Pocus?
No, I'm talking about this
It's
horrible
like I've never
flick.
seen that.
You've never seen
They're
Hocus
making a
Pocus?
Hocus Pocus
I'm not a
too.
Halloween guy.
I thought
Remember?
they already had that.
Well, they're making another one,
Cool.
whatever it is.
Yeah, you know what you're saying.
Or they're making another one,
Cool.
whatever it is.
Yeah, you know what you're saying.
Or they're remaking it. Maybe.
We watched
Okay.
Murder Mystery with Soph,
Uh-huh.
and I thought it was appropriate until it got to the dick jokes part. And it was like,
Yeah.
Yup.
It's the same thing she gonna hear on the
yeah,
playground.
that's true. But
Yeah, it is what it is. It's an Adam Sandler movie. That's all I can say about it.
all right, well that is on Netflix.
Yeah.
All right, so the third movie is the one I chose, called 5 Foot Apart, or Feet, whichever
5 feet
way,
apart.
whichever way you want to say it. So does anybody want to jump in first on this one?
Oh, we'll let you go ahead and just, carry right along with this one, Bubba.
Okay.
We'll let you go ahead and just, carry right along with this one, Bubba.
Okay, well, it had a 7.2 IMDb score and 79% in Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I've told you guys, I shouldn't be a movie critic because I see these scores. I hated this movie. I absolutely hated it. It's been lots of nights in the hospital. Yeah, Othie could give us more history on hospital stays. I've only 2 times, and one of them was supposed to be like the happiest day of my life when my daughter was born.
Sure.
And it was a train wreck. I hated everybody. I was pissed off the entire time. And I got yelling at a nurse. It's a complete travesty. And I don't know why you set that as a stage for a love movie, for a romantic movie, finding true love. I don't believe in love at first
Because
sight.
it has an audience.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay.
That's why I
Well,
think.
it has an audience, and you have it has an audience, and you have with their condition in the film or whatever, you have a built-in obstacle.
Yeah,
Yes.
that you
Which is
gotta
what
get
usually
around.
makes a romance
I get
film
that.
good, is they have to overcome star-crossed lovers that must overcome.
But
damn
my
Capulets.
pieces, and that's what I said. I kept thinking Romeo and Juliet
Yeah.
pieces, and that's what I said. I kept thinking Romeo and Juliet
Yeah.
in this thing, and you knew the whole time they were going to get separated. They were going to be going their own separate ways. But this idea that the only person you can fall in love with is the person you're not supposed to be with is so played out. I mean, when was Romeo and Juliet? I mean, how many hundreds and thousands of years has that been going on?
Well, it hasn't been a
Thousands.
But it's
100,000
been
years.
close. Going down to like the 1200s.
Well,
1300s?
but it is.
I don't
the
remember.
great romance story, and I'm sure that there was the same romance story before that, even.
I understand, but you're still putting that.
Love him.
Well, what's different between so everything that we watched this month has been a romance.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
You know,
true.
some of them were comedies. This was more dramatic. But the big thing is, you're seeing romance in different stages of these people's lives. So that young romance, nothing burns hotter
Than infatuation.
Yes, than
Yeah.
a young romance, and that's what Romeo and Juliet was all based on and stuff. As
But you
well.
guys know me very well. If there's listeners out there and they think this is a persona that I put on, no, I really hate everything this much. And
you've crafted this wonderful character.
and
You've crafted this wonderful character.
I love who I am. You know, I keep thinking that maybe I'm the guy from An Idiot Abroad. When I do stuff now, I just hate everything.
life.
But I don't. I mean, in life, I don't. But I watch this movie and I go, here we go. Watch this movie and I go, here we go. I really struggled from the get-go. I felt like it's a story that we've heard before. Mm-hmm. You knew the outcome. It just was played, just told in a different setting.
Well, after all of that, you're still giving it a 5.
Well, I think the acting was good. I think that
I agree with that.
the
I
way
agree
they
with
told
what's
the
gonna
story,
happen.
you know, the scenery, the way they tried to use modern, you know, I'm going to text and I'm going to YouTube and, you know, all that stuff was really, give it a 5.
All right, well, if you want me to jump in, you want to go?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, well, kind of like Eric. Number one, I was very surprised that you picked this film.
I wanted to hate something,
You
Russell.
never. Every time I think I've got this guy figured out, I just realize that no, I don't have him figured. I just realized that no, I don't have him figured out at all.
And
It's
how long,
gonna surprise
how long
me.
have we known each other? 25
Long
years?
enough.
Yep.
Long enough to know better. So yeah, I was not a huge fan of this film.
Okay.
My wife loved it. She cried her face off.
Of course.
She cried her face off. Now, I will say, kind of like you said, I thought the acting were good. I thought the kids were good. I thought that Poe, that
Yep.
Moises,
Ender's Game Poe.
that played
That's all I
Poe.
see, yeah.
He was good.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just such kind of an unbelievable setting.
Yeah.
And
Good. You feel the same thing I
this
do.
must be in Canada. Right? Because
Yeah.
this was the nicest hospital I've ever seen. It cannot be in the
Yes.
United States. You know, and then at first I thought these kids were all I thought she was at home.
I want to
That was
know
her bedroom at the hospital.
how many hospitals have a pool?
Quite a few, actually.
Really?
Yeah, that's for
Yeah,
rehabilitation and
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
That's not uncommon.
I've been in that many
Okay.
hospitals.
I've been in a few, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or I've been in actually a few pools, and they're actually somewhat
Was
nice.
this
really.
the nicest hospital you've ever seen?
Yes.
Okay,
It was
all right.
definitely built for a movie. It was definitely built for a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just like, man,
Sorry.
the
No.
hospital, the setting is too nice.
Yeah.
I
would go there for my next transplant.
Yeah, and
You're
it's
not
just-
having any more. You're going to be
No.
great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the oversight, and then I just don't know. I couldn't imagine. They did do a good job of making them seem like they just never shower. You know what I mean? Which is
Always sweaty.
well, no,
Yeah.
which they probably don't a lot
Yeah.
because they've got.
That
tubes
is like
and
when you
stuff.
get to shower, when you've been in there that long, that's like your retreat, your spa day. It really is. It's
yeah.
Go
like-
high.
And so I thought
Yeah.
they did a good job with that. I was like, they didn't make them too pretty.
They weren't movied up.
Yeah, they weren't
Yeah.
movied up and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's a great. I told you guys I discovered this film when I was at the AMC theaters and I was outside of the restroom waiting for my wife and daughter to get done in the bathroom, and there was all these 13-year-old girls bawling their faces off around
Really?
me.
Unfortunately,
was
you
like-
told me that story
I was like,
after I picked the
I
movie.
was
You
like,
told me that story.
I was like,
after I picked the
I was
movie.
like, hey, what movie did you guys see?
Yeah.
And they go 5 feet apart, and I'd never even heard of it, and it was like a sneak preview.
Was that
they were
before
seeing.
or after they asked you to leave their presents?
Well, I was just doing my normal thing, hanging outside the. I was just doing my normal thing, hanging outside the women's bathroom, talking to 13-year-old girls.
That's
13-year-old
You
girl.
know,
Exactly.
That's so kind of what I'm famous for. But yeah, I'm with Eric. I'm probably going to give it a Robert Patrick. I'd give it a 3
Oh, wow.
in terms of films that I want to see. But we kind of I would recommend it to.
You'd recommend it to the right person.
To any woman that's a woman, and to any girl specifically between the ages of like 13 to I don't know if they're too jaded by 19, but maybe 13 to 19 was just bawling her face off. Oathmeister, what do you got, bud?
Well, I loved it. I liked it a lot, but not for the actual relationship part. It was more for, it was finally a movie I saw where I could relate to what the characters were going through.
Did you
And
fall
that's-
in love with anybody in the hospital when you were a child?
No, but you have to remember I was pretty young the first time, and the second time I was pretty young the first time, and the second time I was already involved with someone. But I've always had some beautiful nurses. That's one great thing about St. Luke's.
You're
and
like
Kansas.
SpongeBob
Hello.
over
Yeah,
here. Ding, ding, ding. Hello, Ness.
Hello, beautiful girls. But no, Stella, I think was the main character. Is that her name? Maybe. You know, easy to relate to her. Where I've been like OCD, where you do everything the doctor. You know, easy to relate to her where I've been like OCD, where you do everything the doctor tells you to a T, and you've got your med cart, and you do your treatments. And
Yeah.
Is that the way you are?
That's how I was, because, you know, you think, hey, if you do all this, you're going to feel so much better. And that
Right.
never really happened. So now I feel like I'm more like, definitely Will, or I'm more cynical. I'm like, yeah, the doctor's going to tell me to do all I'm going to do. You know, you see the world a little differently, because you are going to die eventually. So why not have
But
the
we
fun
all
life?
are.
We all are, yeah. And so when I was younger, I definitely related to her, and now I'm more of a Will. But the character that really got me was Poe. When they got in their fight and he was apologizing to Stella, he said some things about, you know, him becoming 18 and what he had to put the pressures on him. And those are a lot of internal thoughts that I've always had, but I've never expressed. So I'm like,
Gotcha.
wow, someone somewhere wrote this, and somewhere someone had to have thought that too. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, it was. You know, it hit me in the feels for that kind of reason. Not really the relationship, because I thought that
Right.
was kind of forced. You don't.
Yeah.
Hospital is not a place you fall in love.
Okay,
You're
that
at-
was my whole point.
You don't feel sexy.
You're at your absolute worst when you're
I said
you know,
you're more likely to fall in love at the deodorant aisle at Walmart. That's what I said.
possibly. And the thing about being in a hospital that long, like you said, was that it was a beautiful hospital, but you do kind of move in the sheets. And now I've never been there.
What was
quite
your
that long.
longest stay?
14 days. So this last one wasn't too bad. It was 9. So and it kind of becomes your home, because I mean you make it with. I know the best part were the nurses' interactions, because those are real. I've had those interactions become, you know, they're taking care of you 24/7. They kind of
Right.
become family. They hadn't been in there that time. They'd been in there multiple times. So they developed that relationship with those nurses.
Oh,
and I thought those were
absolutely. No,
great.
no,
Yeah.
and that part, yeah, and that was a testament to what I thought was like a lot of the good acting.
Yes.
The interaction between the characters and stuff on this film, and especially the children and the adults and stuff, seemed to be really the children and the adults and stuff seemed to be really good. It was really well done.
When I read about it too, in the background they're all there, and they don't have a lot of speaking parts, but those are real nurses.
Oh, that's nice.
So they'd catch,
Not
okay,
surprised.
this would never happen here because of this or that, and things like that. So he did his homework, and he put some real nurses in the film. So he did his homework, and he put some real nurses in the film. So
Gotcha.
I liked it, again, for different reasons. I give it a Duvall. I would tell anyone on our transplant team to watch this. I think they'd
Okay.
like that. I think it definitely has an audience. So
Good.
yeah, I liked it a lot. In fact, I texted some people like, you got to check this out. I think you'll like it.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad
Won't
it missed
happen
with
again.
the both of
It won't
us.
happen again.
It missed with the both of us, but we found that it does have an audience.
Yeah, I think so.
And Othie is part of that audience, and I'm glad to see that.
So what are we talking for next month?
Oh, next month.
I have chosen. I'm choosing a movie that you guys have pointed out to me. I didn't know what it was. They label it as a horror movie,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to take that. I'm going to say it's a superhero movie
Okay.
with a bad superhero. I'm going to choose the movie Brightburn. It comes out on DVD, I think mid-August, so I thought that was a great time for us to review it. I'm looking forward to review it. I'm looking forward to it with, James Gunn was highly involved in
Yeah.
it. And
He produced it, didn't he?
he produced it,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm looking forward to see, with my love of Superman, I'm looking forward to see what happens. What if Superman went bad?
Yeah. I mean, what if Superman
Yeah.
wasn't this pure-hearted soul?
Yeah.
So I like the whole concept.
Well,
behind
I'm
it.
interested to see if Martha Kent and Paul Kent, if they're as good, is that part of the reason he goes bad too?
Right.
I'm
that's-
interested.
So the nature versus nurture piece.
Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
kind of.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's
what I wanted to
interesting.
take bad. I don't know. We'll see it. It'll be good.
So that's my pick. Brightburn comes out. I'll look it up here while you guys are talking about yours. Figure out the release date of that.
Awesome.
Russell, what do you got?
Mine is one that is coming out July 31st on Netflix called The Red Sea Diving Resort.
Okay.
And who's in that?
Well, you got a couple actors. Chris Evans.
Captain America.
Yeah, Haley Bennett's in it. I think she's going to be a breakout star here in the next couple of years. I looked through some of her stuff that she'd been doing in the past. She was in the Magnificent Seven opposite Chris Pratt.
Okay.
I know
know
you're
she
talking
is.
about.
Yeah, and so I think she's just from the stuff that she's choosing to be in. Yeah, well, it's all very different, and yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Kenneth Williams, you may know him as Omar from The Wire.
Chalky White.
Yeah, Chalky White.
Oh, okay.
From Boardwalk Empire.
I love that character.
He's Leonard from Hap and Leonard.
Yep.
Have you guys watched that show?
No.
yet?
I've seen it,
Okay.
but I've not gotten into
I'm
it.
really angry at you guys.
Sorry.
Ben Kingsley, he's done a couple things. He's done a couple things in Hollywood.
Never heard of him.
Maybe
A few.
maybe Sir Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
the Mandarin.
Greg Kinnear. So it's got a pretty well known cast.
Like the worst role he
worst
took.
role
That's
ever.
the one.
That's the one you
What did you say?
I was like, he was the Mandarin.
Yeah. Well, he was.
He was
the
the
What a
Mandarin.
terrible movie that was.
The Mandarin is not dead as a character in the Marvel universe.
I know. We'll talk
Because
about
they
that
have
in
the
the
real
news
one. Yeah, but
section.
we'll do that. Yeah, and some other stuff here. So it's got it seems like an interesting plot. So Mossad agents, that's Israel's version of the CIA or
Okay.
the KGB or whatever. They come into contact with some of their informants and stuff in Ethiopia, and it's during like a civil war period in Ethiopia.
Okay.
And genocide's going on. They're trying to wipe out a whole group of people. So these Mossad agents who don't normally get involved in this type of stuff, the Prime Minister gives, it's supposed to all be based on true stuff here.
Uh huh.
The Prime Minister gives them permission to get involved
Oh.
and start sneaking refugees and stuff out of this country
Oh wow.
so they don't get killed. And so that's why they call it the Red Sea Diving Resort.
Yeah.
Because then
August 31st. You said.
no, July
Oh.
31st.
I mean, July
Okay.
31st. Sorry.
Next
That's
one.
It
what I
says in theaters and
So
Netflix.
what they're
July
going to do is so
31st.
they can get an Oscar if they
Yeah,
can.
so they're gonna
yeah.
So,
release it in a few.
I may watch that movie after I go to Baskin Robbins to get my cheap ice cream on the 31st.
There you
So-
go.
Oh, do they have?
Well,
Yeah,
30
you get like
31
the 31st.
There you
So-
go.
Oh, do they have?
Well,
Yeah,
30
you get like
31
30
flavors.
Yeah.
flavors. Heck
Is
yeah.
that
Wonderful.
every month that has a 31
Yes.
days in it?
I didn't
Yep.
know that.
Huh.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
I
so that's
enjoy
my pick
ice
for
cream.
next month. I think it's got some
Yeah, that'll be good.
real potential, but it'll probably suck.
Well, I'm going to go with a movie. I'm going to stick with a comedy.
Potential, but it'll probably suck.
Well, I'm going to go with a movie. I'm going to stick with the comedy genre. I think I just pulled this one. And I'm going to go ahead and go with one called Long Shot. It's got Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. And from what I understand, it's basically a reverse Pretty Woman.
Right.
is the best way I can describe
Ugly
it.
man.
Yeah, Ugly Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it got great reviews on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. I think it just got lost in Avengers
Yep.
and Toy Story and just some of the bigger
When does
summer
it come
releases.
out?
It'll be out in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it'll be, it comes out on DVD.
That's the same week that Endgame comes out on DVD too.
It does,
too.
yeah. So it'll be out for that. But again, Emma in it, and
Yeah,
they
well,
have
that
some
was-
good chemistry.
Yeah, they do.
They
that
look
was really
fun
good.
together. So I'm anxious to see this one. So that's my pick.
Yeah, I'm reading the synopsis for it right now, and it really does look pretty good.
What's
Yeah.
the IMDb score there? Does it say?
Oh, let me jump back over here to the old IMDb.
Oh, I thought that's what you were on. Sorry.
7.1,
Okay.
which I've seen a lot of worse than that.
Everything's about 6 or 7 on there.
Well, she's
Well,
some
yeah.
kind of political figure, and
Yeah.
he's writing for her, and then they kind of start maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
seeing
they
each other.
knew each other when they were younger, and he had a big crush on
She
her.
babysit him.
Yeah,
is
he had a
what
big
it
is.
crush
Oh,
on her,
Uh-huh.
and now he's a freewheeling journalist. Kind of works for like Vice magazine or something like that.
Yeah.
Viceland magazine or something like that.
Yeah.
Viceland.
Gotcha.
And she's about to make a run at the White House, and she brings him into
The
her
fold.
team.
Okay.
So that
So
sounds.
that's Long Shot.
I think. Well, those sound pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for that.
should we recap? What do we think on 5 Feet Apart? See it? Not see it?
If it's the right audience,
Right.
I'd say see it
Yeah, I
as.
would say that.
Yeah,
between
5 or
mine
6.
and-
So
If you want a good cry, you can watch it.
yeah, exactly what you said. It's
What a good
it's a
cry.
great one for the ladies if you want a pure romance film, because it is a hardcore romance
Yep.
film.
Yeah.
And it's a great one for anyone who's had to spend a lot of time, in the medical world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You mean like
I think
doctors?
Both
Lots of doctors.
Both of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
they have whole buildings full of patients.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we do.
Yeah.
What about Murder Mystery? I think we all kind of agreed it was okay. It is what
Yeah,
it
it's,
is.
it's
See it.
fun.
See that?
I say totally
Could have
see
been
it.
better.
Could have been
but,
better.
Yeah.
See it. You're not going to be surprised,
Yeah.
but you're going to have a good time.
Always be my maybe. I think everyone but
I say
Izzy-
skip it.
Always Be My Maybe. I think everyone but
I say
Easy-
skip it.
Easy says skip.
Easy says skip it. I say see it.
I should
Fast forward to the
definitely watch it.
Keanu Reeves scene and then just shut it off.
Hey, it's
Those-
on Netflix.
Oddly
so why
enough,
not?
those are the scenes that I enjoyed the least.
Right.
But
Yep.
that's okay.
All right, and so for next month again, we're gonna do Long Shot. Russ was your pick again. I can't remember the name. For next month again, we're gonna do Long Shot. Russ was your pick again. I can't remember the name.
It's
Dang it.
called Red Sea Diving Resort.
There you go.
And Brightburn. So,
And Brightburn.
Brightburn, yes.
Wow. Well, Russell, where can they find us?
Well, they can find us in a myriad of places. You can listen to us on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher. Big one, yeah. A few people listen to that one. Personally, I get on my computer at work and I go to DunestoneRedemption.com.
It's a heck of a website
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
it
Yeah.
It's actually a really nice website. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Dunestone Films.
All right.
And that website actually has movie reviews on it that we don't even. Website actually has movie reviews on it that we don't even talk about.
Yep.
It's got a lot of other.
You do a lot
information.
of writing.
Well,
Sophie and I
Sophie's
posted
got-
our
yeah.
review of I keep wanting to say Jumanji. Aladdin is the name of the movie.
It's fun. It's a good little flick.
We've got one for Spider-Man
Jumanji.
Far From Home that we did that we're getting ready to put out. And we're going to do a Lion King one.
Cool.
We're supposed to go see that next week sometime.
Nice.
So. All right.
Thanks for listening.
Take
Thank
care.
you.